With all the pregame hype, we're underway, and the first pitch from Sarah Harness to Mariah Rodriguez is ball one. Game time temperature at 69 degrees, very, very humid. Humidity at 80%. Not too windy, which is nice, but feels like the South a little bit, especially the swamp.
I've been to the swamp, Bobby, in Louisiana, the Atchafalaya Basin, and it's I tell you, spending 5 days there, the skeeters and all that, I'm getting flashbacks.
I can only imagine. I've never been there.
It's a good time.
Okay, Mariah Rodriguez. On the season, batting .336, on-base percentage of .404. Was 1 for 3 yesterday in the Ohio State win over Nebraska. 2-0 misses just low for 3 balls and no strikes. Rodriguez takes a few steps out of the batter's box as she begins to reset.
Yeah, Rodriguez has a couple stats going for her this year. She's 22nd in the Big Ten in batting average with that .336 average and 25th in runs, for which she has 30. So a couple stats on the top 25 for the senior Buckeye.
Catches the plate for a strike. And you mentioned Rodriguez last year, or in 2021 rather, first team All Big Ten, was NFCA second team All Midwest in 2021. It was 3-time All State in California. She's from Orange, California as well. 3-1. Called a strike on the outside corner. Rodriguez thought that was ball 4.
Yeah, Harness working to the outside there, and that's actually something that Courtney Wallace does as well. So when both of your starters are able to command that fastball on the outside of the plate, it can really throw those hitters off. The fastball, it gets you licking your chops, but when they're playing with the zone, it's a whole different ball game.
The 3-2 home to Rodriguez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Harness sits down the first batter, battling back from 3 balls and no strikes, and that is the first out.
Yeah, you like to see... you want to see Sarah Harness make quick work of the batter, but the fact that she goes, again, down 3-0 and uses that fastball working outside the zone, able to get Rodriguez to chase, you like that bounce back ability.
Melita Wilkinson steps into the box. Wilkinson, a sophomore with a very large resume already as a sophomore, was last year first team All Big Ten freshman. The numbers for her have been very incredible this season. No such thing as a sophomore slump when you look at the numbers.
No, not at all. And you also have to take in consideration she was also part of the Big Ten All-Tournament team last year as well. So receives a lot of recognition. I mean, just a few of the stats, she's top 25 in the Big Ten. She's 5th in the Big Ten in batting average, 3rd in OPS, 4th in runs, 3rd in hits, 1st in triples, tied for 4th in home runs, and 6th in RBIs. And Bobby, that's just to name several. There are even more categories that Wilkinson really just hones in on at the plate.
1-1 to Wilkinson. Chopper over to third. And that is out number 2.
Yeah, Wilkinson with a one-hopper over to Sydney Gray. Gray was just in a perfect spot. Routine throw for the junior Husker. And right now, Sarah Harness making quick work of the top of the order for the Buckeyes.
That is Cammie Quartercracks, who steps into home plate. Quartercracks yesterday was responsible for both of the Ohio State runs that were driven in that 2-1 victory. First pitch to Quartercracks, outside or inside, ball 1.
And you bring up Quartercracks right after Wilkinson, also a member of the Big Ten all-freshman team last year. And like you mentioned, has the stats from yesterday to back it up, going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, Bobby. Ohio State with a dangerous top 3.
1-0 misses low, 2 balls and no strikes. You mentioned Quartercracks was on that Big Ten all-freshman team. She also started all 53 games a year ago. That just 1-2 punch between Quartercracks and Wilkinson is obviously, it's going to be a duel at the top of the Big Ten for years to come, just a force to be reckoned with.
Well, you like a battle within the team like that.
2-0 fouled off to the right side, out of play.
It's healthy competition, Bobby, especially when 2 players are batting back-to-back. It provides, I think it adds a different element of fun to the game, right? Because your team is good. You have a solid couple of hitters at the top of the order that can compete to be better than each other. They're holding each other accountable every day, and that's exactly what any coach wants.
Also adds a lot of stability in that lineup as well. 2-1 misses outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Now Sarah Harness has to reset back in.
How about a .626 batting average at Bishop Hartley High School?
It's very impressive. Wildly impressive. 3-1. Sawed off the top of the protected netting. Caught by a fan.
Gotta love free souvenirs, right, Bobby?
Well, it's not free because you have to return the softball.
No.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
More parks are doing that now, I think.
It's a rule here at Bowling Stadium. You cannot bring home the softball. It must be returned, and then someone runs it down to the Nebraska dugout, and it waits.
Huh.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Outside ball 4, and Quartercracks draws a walk.
Yeah, the command there for Harness, a little out of whack. Again, start of the game, you're looking to find that rhythm, and she's continuously using that fastball. I'd like to see a little more breaking ball movement if she can break it out. Even if it's just a couple pitches here and there, the more you give Ohio State that same look, especially at fastball, they're going to hammer on that pitch.
Runner at first, 2 away. Sam Hackenbrack steps to the plate. Takes a first pitch ball low.
Yeah, attempting to work inside there.
Hackenbrack was first team NFCA All-Midwest Region last year, was second team NFCA All-Midwest Region in 21. It was second team All-Big Ten in 21 and 22. Very talented player. She's the designated player for today, as that is line foul.
Talented player that can swing the bat.
Exactly. That was dropped a little sooner. That would have been a fair ball.
Yeah, just left, just wide of that left foul line. Completely jumps on Harness's pitch right away.
Just a tad early.
And that's something, Bobby, if the batters are jumping on Harness that quickly in the game, something to keep an eye on.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. 1-2.
And there's that off-speed pitch. Not something you see too much where you like to give that look and that type of a pitch right exactly atop the plate and outside the zone. But, hey, you know what? If it works for Sarah Harness, you have to do what you have to do.
1 on, 2 out. 1-2 count to Hackenbrack from Harness. Sky to the right side, going out of play, and will go out of play. Gentleman seems to be okay.
Security double checking, making sure the fan is okay.
And he says he's fine. I'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That would not be fun, getting blunked in the head by a foul ball, especially a softball.
No.
Woo.
It would not. 1-2. Top of the zone, 2 balls and 2 strikes. With it being senior day, it is a very large crowd
It's
here
good.
at Bowling Stadium.
And, Bobby, it's good to see the Husker faithful showing up for Courtney Wallace and Maya Felder. They've done a lot for this team over their time here. And
Courtney Wallace in her 5th season playing softball. You can see all the reserve signs behind home plate. The 2-2 down in the dirt, and the count has worked full again.
this happened a couple times today. This is the 3rd time that Harness has hit 3 balls thrown to a batter. You almost want to see a pitcher's meeting if there's a walk here.
22nd pitch on the way. 3-2 to Hackenbrack is hit in the air into center field. Kaneda makes the catch. Top half of the first is over. We go to the bottom of the first.
Wallace, the senior, usually the starting pitcher for the Huskers, rounding out the bottom of the order in that 9 spot for Nebraska. Inside the circle for Ohio State today is the right-handed pitcher, Emily Ruck. The junior is 8-7 on the year with a 4.32 ERA. 25 appearances, has thrown 8 complete games and 92 1/3 inning worked. That one's fouled away. 110 hits allowed. 71 runs surrendered, 57 of which are earned, 38 walks, and 67 punch-outs.
th start of the season for Emily Ruck as well. As Billy Andrews falls down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We'll get you the defense in just a minute of Ohio State. First, the 0-2 from Ruck to Andrews inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is the defense for Ohio State from left to right. Ruberetti is in left, Adi in center, Wilkinson is in right, and then from third to first. Bump, quarter cracks, Farley, Rodriguez, and Church is behind the plate doing the catching. The 1-2 to Billy Andrews outside works the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Emily Ruck, again, the junior from Westerville, Ohio, comes into this one with the 7th highest ERA in the Big Ten. Started 11 games last year. And at one point had a 5-inning no-hitter with 11 punch-outs against UMass at one point last year. So someone that this team is very happy to have back for another year.
That is fouled off to the right side into the bleachers on the right side of Bowlin Stadium. Count holds tight, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrews batting .355 on the season, 14 home runs, 26 RBIs. The 2-2 to Andrews, outside again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great job by Andrews, battling back, being down 0-2 to work the count even.
Yeah, Andrews is someone who can jump on any pitch, is ready to swing, but she takes her walks. 22 walks taken this year and 24 strikeouts, so right around that 50-50 range.
3-2, fouls it off in the protected netting. Count holds tight at 3 balls and 2 strikes. She had 2 walks yesterday in the loss to Ohio State in an 0-for-2 effort. Still managed to get on base 2 separate times, though.
Yeah, Nebraska, if they want to win a game, Bobby, anytime they go out onto the field, they need Billy Andrews to at least collect a couple hits. She is that vital to this offense.
3-2 to Andrews, fouls it off again.
Yeah.
Great way fending off Emily Ruck early.
Yeah, and you have to love this from Andrews. Not only is she staying in and she's worked her way back into the count, but she's also increasing Ruck's pitch count. At the end of the day, this is the first batter for the game, and you're already sitting at 8 pitches.
It's exactly what you want of a leadoff hitter, too, in Billy Andrews. 3-2 home to Andrews. Upstairs, ball 4 from 0-2 to a leadoff walk.
Now that's a plate appearance, Bobby. Coming back and chipping away at Ruck. Adding a couple pitches to the pitch count with a few foul balls, and the dangerous freshman, like you mentioned, could be a candidate for Big Ten Freshman of the Year in Caitlin Kaneda, Bobby.
Kaneda batting .388, which is 6th in the Big Ten right now in batting average. .435 on base percentage, 33 RBIs driven in. One of a few Nebraska players from the state of California. Tries to lay down a bunt. She does. Throw over to first. Andrews now gets caught in a rundown, retreats back to second. She slides in safely. And at first, I didn't know if Kaneda got the ball far enough off home plate. I thought that might have been a foul ball.
Yeah, I thought that ball was trickling back with the backspin on it. It was set to hit the edge of home plate.
Sydney Gray steps to home plate. First pitch. Shoots it foul to the right side. Off the netting. Sydney Gray yesterday 2 for 3 with a home run. The only run for Nebraska as well in that 2-1 loss.
And Sydney Gray isn't really someone who hits the ball out of the park. You're more looking for your basic singles, maybe a couple doubles here and there. So to see her hit a ball out of the park toward the end of the season, heading toward tournament play, that's exactly what you want.
Swing and a miss, and is now down 0-2 in the count.
Again, the umpires for today, Michael Hertz behind home at first, Gary McGuire and Troy Kai Kendall at third.
The 0-2 to Sydney Gray. Ground ball to second. Farley throw over to first, 2 down.
Hey, you know what, Bobby? It moves the runner over. It almost was kind of a half swing from Gray. Swung really late. But it moves Billy Andrews over to third. And Maya Felder, on senior day, is one base hit away from giving the Huskers the lead here in the bottom of the first.
It'd be their first lead of the series as well.
And they need it right now. They really do.
First pitch to Maya Felder, outside, ball 1. But this is a game with such importance on standings. The scenarios, I worked them out last night. So if Nebraska wins the next 2, they are the 4th seed in the Big Ten tournament, get the bye. Ohio State loses both and is anywhere between 5 and 10 in the conference. It just shows how wide open the middle of the conference is Maya Felder takes a called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's say Nebraska and Ohio State split the next 2 games. So Ohio State would win the series, but they both win at least 1 game. Nebraska would still be 4th in the conference just with that head-to-head over the Ohio State, while the Buckeyes are anywhere between 5th and 9th. And Ohio State, if they win out, they finish 4th in the conference as that's fouled off to the right side. But if Nebraska were to lose out in that same scenario, they would be anywhere between 5 and 8th. So what the scenario is Nebraska needs to win 1 game, the 4 seed is theirs. Ohio State needs to win 2, and the 4 seed is theirs.
Yeah, basically, Bobby, you have to set yourself up to keep yourself away from Northwestern until the Big Ten title.
Ground ball, that is up the middle, base hit. And Maya Felder on senior day comes through for the first run of the ball game.
Great piece of hitting there by Felder. Swings with confidence there, meets the ball at a perfect angle. No surprise, it's tropical weather today. We're getting into our tropic side.
We are. That is into left field and down. Felder holds up at second. Brooke Andrews delivers. And back-to-back singles for Nebraska.
Yeah, Brooke has just had a great year. I mean, hitting .326 coming into this one.
Abby Squires steps to home plate as the rain has started to come down here in Lincoln. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. I was checking the weather this morning. We were not expecting any rain whatsoever. There was a 15% chance, but the chance was still not 0.
There's always a chance because it's Nebraska and it's the Midwest.
It's very true. Squire was 1 for 3 yesterday. Fouls that one off. Not a heavy rain either, just kind of more of a light mist. That's just what happens when it's humid, I guess.
That's the weather. I mean, we're no meteorologists. I don't think we are.
I would think it'd be cool to be one. Like, I know some of the stuff about weather.
I wouldn't mind pointing to a green screen and saying, it's going to rain. But there's obviously a lot more that goes into it. And there's a reason we're sports announcers and not meteorologists.
Very true. 1-1. That is into right center field. Caught on a line. The first inning has come to a close. However, Maya Felder delivers in the first run for Nebraska on senior day.
And 5 1/3 innings pitched. Allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks as that one's fouled back. Had a strikeout, gave up a home run, had a wild pitch and a hit by pitch. So you look at that stat, right, against Northwestern, who's arguably right now the best team in the Big Ten, one of the best in the country. You like the length, right, from Harness. The hits, that's going to happen. But I'm looking at that wild pitch, that hit by pitch, the home run. You don't want to see her get too complacent. And that's going to be the key here today is can she lock in? We've seen a couple times it's gone a full count or she's just walked someone on 4 or 5 pitches going on a 3-1 count to 4-1 count. You want to see 1-1. You want to see 2-1. Keep that pitch count down. You'll be able to go longer and preserve possibly Courtney Wallace for what could be
tomorrow.
The rubber match.
I would assume. Mm-hmm. 1 ball and 1 strike to Maggie Oddie. Checked her swing. She didn't go.
Yep, Oddie held back there.
I was gonna say I think that's the right call to make in that spot. I don't think she went. They got good job of holding up.
Oddie went 0 for 3 yesterday looking for her first hit of the series.
2-1. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Audi batting .214 on the season. On base percentage, however, a .344. That compared to the batting average, it's a lot of walks drawn, a lot of ways to getting on base. That is not via the hit.
Hey, where there's a will, there's a way, Bobby, and
3-2. Walked her.
And that's her bread and butter right there. Adi's patient at the plate, and patience is a virtue. Virtue, Bobby. In a sport like baseball or softball, it's going to pan out for you in such a positive way. So fastball command has been an issue for Sarah Harness to start this one already at 27 pitches.
J.C. Rubretti steps into the batter's box, scooped by Sydney Gray at third, bobbles it, no throw anywhere, and everyone is safe. Just a defensive misplay.
Yeah, Gray had the right idea, but I think a big part of it is she continues to move that left arm forward with the glove. So here's the bunt. It's a high one. Scoops it, and I think she just has a little too much momentum with that left arm. If she keeps it back, I think it's a clean scoop and an underhand throw, but
it's a great read.
Yes.
It's a great read. She anticipated the bunt really well. And Hannah Church steps into the batter's box. 2 balls and 1, first pitch to Hannah Church with 2 on runners at first and second. Bottom of the zone, 4 strike 1.
Hannah Church, the Land O'Lakes, Florida native. This is definitely the type of weather she's used to.
I would assume so, yes. I would assume so, especially Land O'Lakes.
What a cool town name to be from, Land O'Lakes.
It seems like a really Minnesota type city name.
I mean, you would think that.
They claim they're the state of 10,000 lakes. That's fouled off behind us. 0-2 count for Hannah Church.
Yeah, last time out for Church, she went 1 for 1 with an RBI last Saturday, April 29th against Minnesota. So it's been a few games since she has stepped into the batter's box.
To Church. Chopped foul to the left side.
She was ready for that one. The big thing to watch with Church is she likes that high and inside fastball, which you don't really see too much from a lot of batters, especially in softball, just with the arm angle that you're pitching at. But Harness needs to control that. Is you could just even sense the confidence from Church. The second she knew where that ball was going, that left leg was up, and she locked and loaded on her swing.
0-2 count, no one out here in the top of the second to Hannah Church with 2 on. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chased it well and away out of the zone for the first out.
That's exactly what I wanted to see from Sarah Harness. Hadn't seen too many breaking balls. We'd seen a couple off-speed pitches. But Harness able to work to the outside and completely throw off Church. Here's the payoff. It completely just goes way outside of the zone, nearly in the left-handed batter's box.
Second strikeout for Sarah Harness as Mackenzie bump steps to the plate. Wild pitch at the top of the zone.
That's 2 games in a row now where Sarah Harness has had a wild pitch.
So now you have runners at second and third. That advances the runners. A little bit more dangerous now because a fly ball into right field, fly ball really anywhere, can tie this game at 1 with Audi at third. That's upstairs as well. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, the first couple of batters, we saw Harness working toward the outside edge of the plate, depending on the batter. But now she's trying to go high into the zone, right over the middle, or in the heart over the plate. That's really tough to put a fastball there in terms of getting it to land as a strike.
0-2, chopped foul off the inside part of the bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bump yesterday was 0 for 2 with a walk. Not a whole lot of hits where seen yesterday. 12 combined hits as a team. 3 players had multi-hit efforts out of both teams. Big one was Cammie Quartercracks, who was 3 for 4. She was responsible for half of the Ohio State hits. That's a fly ball into left field, down and foul. Just a little too late for Mackenzie Bump.
And Bump would be ahead in the count herself if she didn't go for that check swing on that fastball. It seems like Harness caught her a little off guard.
Well, yeah, you're right. We'd be looking at a 3-1 count right now rather than a 2-2.
So Harness catches a break.
The 2-2 from Sarah Harness to Mackenzie Bump. Grounded foul to the right side. We'll do it again.
Bump's hanging in there and really had a breakout year last year. That's why she's had the playing time that she's had this year. Going .313 batting average last year with 8 doubles and 2 home runs. She had 8 multi-hit games and 8 multi-RBI games. A stat like that, Bobby, is going to keep you in a starting position on a Big Ten team long term.
2-2. Fouled off.
That ball had some wonky spin coming from Harness, and it had a peculiar spin as well coming off the bat of Bump.
I think she's just lucky she was able to get a piece of that and not go down swinging.
Barely got a piece of that.
The way it tapped foul. Two-two from Sarah Harness to Mackenzie Bump. 1 away here in the top of the second with 2 on. Fouled off in the netting. Here we go again.
This is incredible.
It's a really good at-bat by Mackenzie Bump, really working the count.
Bump on the year has taken 14 walks compared to 11 strikeouts. So situation she has been in multiple times.
The 2-2. That's hit in the air into left center field. Brooke Andrews backing up by the warning track. That's out number 2. However, the runners are going to tag up and a run's going to score, and we are tied at 1.
Great at bat by Mackenzie Bump. Obviously, you like to be safe. You like to have a safe hit there, but drives it out far enough into left center field to Brooke Andrews. And able to bring home the runner. That one nearly could have left it. There was a little more wind here, Bobby. That one's out.
It's one of those days, you mentioned the wind. When you look at the flagpoles, there's not a whole lot of anything. Ties the game at 1. And now Caitlin Farley, the 9-hole hitter for Ohio State, steps to the plate. Farley was 0 for 3 yesterday. Lefty batter on Sarah Harness with a runner at third and 2 away. First pitch, off speed, swing and a miss, strike 1.
And back to that sack fly, the RBI sack fly for Bump. Adi, when she scored, it was an unearned run based off of the error by Sydney Gray over third.
I was going to say that bunt that was a solid 3 inches in front of home plate was probably the cause for that. 0-1, swing and a miss. Cam was 0-2. Farley has a surfing history, being from California, competed in a few surfing competitions. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, La Costa Canyon High School. You mentioned she obviously played softball, soccer, but the big thing is yes, Bobby, she did participate in a surfing competition.
0-2. Outside count 1 and 2.
You ever surfed?
I have not, no. I've never been to California or anywhere up and down the coastline.
Oh, nice. Yeah, surfing, I've never tried it. I don't think I do very good.
I don't think so either. Like my balance, I don't know the first thing about surfing. It seems like a really impressive skill to have. The 1-2 also misses outside for 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, let's just go down right now to the field and ask Caitlin Farley.
I know. Just as she's swinging the bat.
Call a batter's timeout. Just a quick one. Hey, tell me how you do it. How do you surf?
That's the only way I think we could really learn.
We got to learn. We got to know right now. We have to know
Yes.
right now.
I thought that'd be more of like a whole Hawaii thing, but I guess it does happen in California too. 2-2 fouled off right by Rhonda Ravel. Oh, San Diego. I guess you do surf a lot in San Diego.
Maybe not so much as you go up California, but definitely the farther down you go. Ooh.
I was going to say, especially Northern California, it's cold up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go. You know, I mean,
SoCal's different.
Yeah, totally different ball game.
That's the crazy thing is like California is 5 hours apart driving. Or no, it's longer than 5.
Oh, it's way longer.
I don't know where I was getting 5 from. 2-2. Missed down and out, and the count is full. So Farley was 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 to Farley. Swing and a miss. A massive strikeout for Sarah Harness as we go to the bottom of the second. 1 run crosses the plate for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's it. Caitlin Neal, Ava Breadwell, Courtney Walls, all due up for Nebraska here on Big Ten Plus. Of quartercracks, of Ohio State also had a multi-hit effort as the first pitch fouled off to the left side onto the concourse.
Well, it makes it that much more impressive because, Bobby, yesterday it really was a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers going complete games, and the batters really were not given all that much of a chance.
0-1 to Neal upstairs and around her head. 1 ball and 1 strike. Caitlin Neal, .331 average. From Dewey, Arizona. A lot of juniors, and she's another one of the juniors on this team. 4 home runs, 22 driven in. 1-1 fouled off behind us for strike 2. Wow, legitimately directly behind us.
If I had a 40-foot vertical and could jump through a ceiling, I think I would have had the ball.
I think you would need like an 80-inch vertical, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, maybe even farther.
That's just about 3 feet. Caitlin Neal fouls that one off to the left side as well, also onto the concourse. Count holds tight at 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know if you know how much 3 feet is from here to where the ball was. Oof. That was like probably 10 feet above us.
Yeah. You know, the 8-foot vertical would probably be a big hand.
Probably.
Be a big help.
You'd also probably be playing basketball right now.
I'd probably be in Space Jam.
Yeah. Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I would have been in the movie if I have a vertical like that.
1-2 runs inside on Neal. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Caitlin Neal, Bobby, really has the ability to swing the lumber. Well, not the lumber because they use metal bats here, but she's tied for second in the Big Ten with doubles. And what I'd take away from that is maybe not so much speed around the bases, but it's the ball placement. She puts it into the gaps in left center and right center field.
2-2, fouled off into the netting again. Great way of fouling off pitches, keeping this at-bat alive, and also on top of that, making Emily Ruck work for it.
Yeah, it's a two-way street here. Caitlin Neal has to, sacrifice a lot of energy with her swings, but she's forcing Ruck to just constantly increase that pitch count, and for a series that might be determined.
That's the top of the zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Continue.
That might be determined based on pitching. It's important to get that count up. This is not going to be the flashiest series of batters. This is a pitching duel.
Which is strange because Ohio State's pitching has not been all that impressive this year. It's not the worst in the Big Ten, but it's below average in the numbers. Caitlin Neal shoots that one foul as well, left side.
It's just a little under middle of the pack, but if you compare the numbers yesterday, Allison Smith, the ace for the Buckeyes, getting the start, and Courtney Wallace for Nebraska, they both go 7 innings. They both allow 6 hits. Both have 1 earned run. The second run for Wallace was not earned. Both with 3 walks. Both with a combined 5 strikeouts. Those numbers are nearly identical.
Caitlin Neal fouls that off the netting. Yeah, Ohio State, they have the 4th worst ERA in the conference, which is 11th, at a 3.81, which you look at that and you're like, oh, that's not terrible per se, but compared to a lot of other Big Ten schools, it's also not great. They've given up 42 home runs, which is 12th in the conference, and the opponent batting average is a 263, which is 11th in the conference. 3-2. That's hit in the air into center field. Not deep enough, back by the warning track, and that is out number 1.
That's a win for Rhonda Ravel. That thing hits the parking lot.
Reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Ava Breadwell steps to home plate, takes a first pitch ball at the top of the zone. Breadwell batting .295, 2 home runs, 17 driven in, was 1 for 3 yesterday. Sophomore from Shawnee, Kansas.
And Rhonda Ravel notes that, Breadwell.
It's Breadwell into center field, back by the warning track again, and the catch is made by Adi, 2 away.
Yeah, Adi busy the past couple of batters. Has to work to her right.
First pitch to Courtney Walls. Strike 1. Just caught the top of the zone.
Yeah, it's interesting. One hit goes right, one hit goes left. One hit a little too much under, the other gets a little closer to solid contact. And Courtney Wallace round that out here.
Are you saying that she's the middle ground?
Third time's the charm. Could be.
0-1 misses up and out, 1 ball and 1 strike. Do you think as a pitcher you have a very good read of the zone when you bat? I know catchers do, just because they're always like, they basically have that digitalized in their mind of this is the zone. You think pitchers have it the same way?
I'd have to think about that one.
1-1 grounded over to short, throw over, and the inning is over. Well, you can sit on that thought as we go to the 3rd inning here on Big Ten Plus. Ohio State, Nebraska is still even at 1.
Rodriguez last time up in the 1st inning struck out swinging. And Bobby, if you look at her helmet, that's a tradition with the Buckeyes. Look at all those stickers.
It really is. All the stickers. That's more of a football thing, though. You don't see that a whole lot with softball, but that's pretty cool that they do that for softball. I wonder if Ohio State does it with baseball, too.
Yeah, you have to wonder.
Hopefully Ohio State comes to Nebraska next year, able to watch a game or two.
We'll be able to find out.
We would be able to. As athletic director Trev Alberts just walked right in front of us.
Big swing and a miss there by Mariah Rodriguez. Harness starting to settle in a little more. Evens up the count 1-1. Harness has walked 2 and struck out 3 on 49 pitches. And that one's chopped over into right field, playing it as Neal. And the Buckeyes get their first hit of the afternoon.
Half swing single? Just poked down, got it.
It's a very late swing.
It is. Well, not late enough. In the case of Nebraska, that it went foul. Just put it perfectly. If that's hit a little bit harder, that's a fly out. Maybe a double, too, depending how hard it got hit. But just a really convenient way of reaching base. Convenient way of hitting.
Wilkeson pops that one up. Dead over home plate. Coming in is Felder to make the play for out number 1. And just like that, the Buckeyes' most dangerous hitter, coming in with a .390 batting average, is retired on 1 pitch.
Well, that's a great job by Ava Breadwell. She pointed at Maya Felder and said, "That's you. You're the one who's making that play." Just really solid communication. Maya Felder lucky there was no collision between Wilkinson and Felder. That could have been bad. Wilkinson ran out of the way, make sure there would be no contact.
Quarter Craggs drives that one into right center, and that one gets down. Rounding second for the Buckeyes is Mariah Rodriguez. So 2 runners in scoring position for the Buckeyes here, and with 1 out, Bobby, trouble looming, and 1 swing of the bat could give the Buckeyes a 2-run lead here.
Well, that's a good piece of hitting by Quarter Cracks as well. Split the gap in right center field.
But this is easily the toughest situation she has been in all day, is that fastball. It's the dirt inside for ball number 1. Hackenbrack, listed as the designated player today, popped out back in the first, over to second base.
Infield playing in for Nebraska as well.
That one low and inside again, 4-2.
Not sure if Nebraska was anticipating bunt with Hackenbrack. Maybe.
Now, what's interesting about this situation, Bobby, is do you like the idea of walking Hackenbrack here and trusting your defense to possibly get you out of this inning with a double play? What are your thoughts?
Josh, I don't think so.
As that one is sharply hit into left center field. One run is in for the Buckeyes. And that's a hack, to say the least, by Sam Hackenbrack. And Ohio State reclaims the lead. They now lead 2-1.
Well, you mentioned that would you trust the Nebraska defense? That might be a little bit of an announcer's jinx as that goes right through the glove of Billy Andrews. That's easily something that could have been turned for two in some sort of sense. As now there's going to be a pitcher warming up for Nebraska in that bullpen. And obviously 2 more pivotal games with this one and tomorrow versus Ohio State.
Adi fakes bump. Pulls it back and sees ball number 1. Maggie Adi is the all-time leader in hits at Sandy Valley High School. She also drove in the 3rd most runs on the team last year at 27. Took a walk back in the 2nd inning. Hitters count here 2-0 with 1 out. Runners on the corners. And a quick ground ball anywhere on the infield could result in a double play, and Nebraska gets out of this. But Harness's command has not been 100% today as that one's driven out into left center field. Back on the warning track goes Brooke Andrews and makes the catch. The runner tags up for the Buckeyes, and Quartercrack scores. And the Buckeyes now take a 3-1 lead. This is a 2-run top of the 3rd on solid contact made by Meggiati.
There have been a few of those where they've been driven out into left and right center field, just not carrying enough. I think that kind of helps the fact that there's no win for both of these teams, but I'm sure they expect, okay, why is the ball not leaving?
I mean, when you look at the flags, they're moving just a tad right now. But for about the first 2 innings and even all of our pregame shoot, they were just dead on the pole.
Yeah. Well, what also doesn't help for how humid it is, the air is really heavy. Makes it tougher for the ball to travel through the air.
The pitch inside and fouled back by J.C. Ruberty, excuse me. Ruberty, the senior. Again, reached on that error by Sydney Gray on that very peculiar bunt.
That was one of the more odd bunts I've seen out of all my time of watching softball.
I mean, the way it came off the bat, it was a pop bunt almost.
It was. Almost. And it went up. It didn't go up and forward. It just went up. And it fell back down legitimately 4 inches in front of home plate.
I think Nebraska just wasn't ready for it. You don't see anything really like that.
No, you don't. And it was a good jump, too, by Sydney Gray at 3rd to make the charge. However, as you mentioned, when it happened, just a little bit too much momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And scooping that a little too forcefully.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Sarah Harness gets the signal. Here's the payoff. That one swung out into center field. Brooke Andrews has been busy, especially for a Saturday afternoon, but gets through that one, has a couple putouts, and the Huskers get out of this one, but not before Ohio State can put up 2 runs and take their first lead of the game. They lead 3-1. Nebraska set to bat here in the bottom of the 3rd with Billy Andrews leading off with a couple good fouled off pitches.
Went down 0-2, was able to battle back and draw the walk.
And Andrews takes ball 1 there. Andrews this year with a .355 batting average, 26 runs driven in, 14 home runs. She sees that one inside.
14 home runs is tied for second in the conference. She leads the Nebraska team, and she is 6 home runs short of the 20 she hit last year. But if she were to hit a home run today, she would move into 6th all-time Nebraska career home runs. Right now she's tied for 6th. One more should be 42 all-time, and would be 6th with no one else in that same realm.
Wow. And she's also tied for 2nd right now in the Big Ten in home runs.
And Brooke and Billy Andrews in a season are 2nd all-time in combined home runs among sisters. Taylor and Tatum Edwards, they have the record at 32. They set that twice.
As that one's driven out into left center field. Back at the wall it goes. That one's out of here. Little bit of the announcer work here from Bobby Hessling might have called it. Cowabunga! Billy Andrews sends that one off. And the Huskers cut their deficit in half. It's now 3-2, and Andrews comes home with home run number 15 on the year. Caitlin Kaneda, the standout freshman, drives that one into left field, and it's a line drive snagged out of the air by Ruberty. Yeah, they are.
They're very loose.
For coming in on senior day with their season somewhat being on the line. As that one's driven out shallow right field, and a one-pitch at-bat for Sydney Gray ends. It'll pop out to right to Wilkeson.
I wouldn't say so much on the line, more of just the standings and where everything is going to position themselves is on the line. Now, Brooke and Billy Andrews, they still have a ways to go to get to Taylor and Tatum Edwards. They're now 26 combined home runs. So 6 more, they can tie Taylor and Tatum. But they set that in 2011 and 2014. I was in elementary school when they were doing that. And middle school. Middle school in 14. I was a 6th grader. 11, I would have been a 2nd grader? Does that sound right? Does that sound right?
Spring of 2011, I was in 3rd. So you would be, you would have been in 2nd.
Yeah.
Where did those days go?
Well, then 2014, I would have been a 5th grader. I got my years mixed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where they went.
Look where we are now.
Yeah.
We're with you folks today here on Big Ten Plus. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We can't just,
I think young Bobby and young Josh would be pretty thrilled.
And that one's driven out in left field, and Maya Felder is 2 for 2 on the day. How about that for the senior on senior day?
It's a great piece of hitting. Just flies right by quarter cracks at shortstop.
Baseball and softball are a game of inches, Bobby, and there's a reason. That one is a base hit, and now here is arguably one of the most dangerous hitters for Nebraska, junior Brooke Andrews. Up at the plate, singled last time up. 11 home runs on the year.
Have you thought any more about my question before we went to break from the 2nd to the 3rd inning about does a pitcher have that zone just digitalized in their mind?
I would say so. I would say yes, especially if you've worked with the same umpire before. I've definitely seen Michael Hertz's name pop up as the home plate umpire before, so not only what he likes, but again, you watch the film on Emily Ruck, you know exactly where she likes to command each of her pitches. I think you'd have a good idea, just like a catcher, Bobby. So I will say yes to that one.
I only ask because typically pitchers aren't that great of hitters, but I think that's just because they're so focused on their motion that they don't give that much detail to the art of hitting and swinging a baseball bat.
As that one is popped up over to short, quarter cracks battling the sun and records that 3rd out. But how about Billy Andrews getting her 15th home run on the year, cuts the Husker deficit in half. They still trail 3-2. Ohio State set to bat here in the top of the 4th. Hannah Church to lead off. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
A little bit. lot of T's, a lot of E's.
As she takes strike one there. Tegan Cordarelli, the senior from Hillard, Ohio. Bats lefty, throws righty. Played in 50 of Ohio State's 53 games last year. Only started 9 of them. But basically what they do is they bring her in as a pinch hitter / pinch runner. Led the team with 9 stolen bases last year. As that one is driven over through the gap. A diving Billy Andrews is not able to keep that one in the infield. And the dangerous Tegan Cordarelli is on first. And expect her to run, Bobby.
They did mention before the game she is usually the first pinch runner we will see for Ohio State. It seems like Rhonda Revelle also knows that, as there's immediately a meeting in the circle, probably about defensive positioning. But Sarah Harness, last now 2 innings, kind of getting hit around a lot, isn't finding the same stuff we saw in the first and the second, where she was racking up a few strikeouts and keeping the ball on the ground.
Well, the big thing, Bobby, is with Bump and Farley set to bat, they're only 3 batters away from seeing Mariah Rodriguez for the 3rd time at the top of the order. And usually that 3rd time the batting order comes around, you have to consider, okay, is it a good idea to keep my starting pitcher out here, because they know exactly what to expect. Here's Mackenzie Bump. Bump bunts that one foul. Gray was off to the races, ready to dive for that one, but it drops foul.
Yeah, Gray just overran it at first. Typically, you don't expect the ball to bunt foul to the left. We're expecting a little bit low. If anything, it's going to roll foul. Sydney Gray was ready for it, though.
Playing very shallow, even with the 3rd base bag. That one's laid down cleanly over to the pitcher. In time, over to first, no. And the Huskers. Harness not able to get a clean handle on that ball. Fumbled it with her right hand, did not go for the glove.
See, the problem there was a defensive miscommunication. Sydney Gray and Sarah Harness both go for that softball, excuse me. One of them should have gone for it and have called the other one off. In this case, I'm saying that's probably more Sarah Harness's ball than Sydney Gray's. I know Sydney Gray was charging on in, but Sydney Gray just has to take a step to the right and just run out of the picture necessarily and let Sarah Harness make that play. That ball is right in front of Sarah Harness, and throwing the ball on the run for Sydney Gray would be relatively tough to do.
We've seen a couple of those today, Bobby. Nebraska has not been the best in terms of handling the ball.
Just a few defensive miscues early for Nebraska. Rhonda Revelle would like it to settle down.
I think they're ruling that last play a foul ball. Resets to an 0-2 count, and it's a swing and a miss, and Harness catches a break there. I think that's what home plate umpire Michael Hertz and Huskers head coach Rhonda Revelle were deliberating about. So the count resetted back to 0-2 after a fouled bunt.
Well, I got to change my book now because of that. I thought it was, as we did it originally, thought that was a single laid down by bunt.
It looked good, but then when I realized the runner was not on second, I remember seeing the play and I'm thinking, yeah, the runner was safe at second. So there's no out call there. So, yes, the count reset to 0-2 on the fouled bunt, and it's a swing and a miss. Harness picks up her 4th strikeout on the day. Harness with 1 out and a runner on first sends that one outside for ball 1. And back to Tegan Cordarelli. How about this? Let's backtrack a couple years to 2021, Bobby. A team-high 18 stolen bases, which was good for 3rd in the Big Ten. She also had 5 multi-hit games, but take away the hitting as well as she did there. 18 stolen bases.
Able to run. Able to run. You see why Ohio State uses her as a pinch runner all the time. As Destiny Nuri has stepped and grabbed a bat. That sits down Caitlin Farley for the afternoon.
Destiny Nuri pinch hitting here. Pops that one up over to Sydney Gray, waving off Billy Andrews. And there's a quick second out for the Huskers. Huskers record that one fairly fast, but here's the top of the order with Mariah Rodriguez. Now, this is something to consider, Bobby. If Mariah Rodriguez and it works its way down to Melina Wilkeson and Cami Quartercracks, do you pull Sarah Harness? If it gets to that point, this inning.
I would let Harness get out of the inning unless it gets bad, which we may not see happen.
That one's driven out to right center field, and Brooke Andrews working to her left. She's been busy, having to backtrack, work to her right, and work to her left, and records the final out at the top of the fourth. Huskers set to bat. They trail 3-2. Stay tuned. Will the Huskers recapture the lead? Abby Squire set to lead off for the Big Red.
At least the sun has started to peek out. It was cloudy for the first half.
Squire drives that one out to left field. Back at the warning track, it goes, battling the sun. And Ruby makes a phenomenal catch. You know what? She didn't have to move a ton, and there she is dancing again.
I'm not a dance expert, so I'm not gonna engage in that conversation. That's not really my area of expertise.
Dancing is a time. It's a good time.
Kayla Neal, she had one of those flyouts into left center field that we originally thought might have had a chance to get out.
Like you mentioned, Caitlin Neal going 2 for 3 yesterday. One of the few bright spots for the Huskers. Really one of the few bright spots for either team yesterday, as it was a pitcher's duel. As that one is sharply lined out to right field, and leaping to make the catch is Wilkeson. And a couple of quick outs here for the Buckeyes. She initially, I thought she took maybe a step forward and misjudged it, and backtracked and had a little hop in the air to make the catch.
The ball was going to travel not as far as it ended up doing. Had to make a jump catch. You don't see too many of those.
Especially in the outfield.
No.
Infield, yeah, you will.
Infield, yes.
Yeah. Just the pitch fouled back by Breadwell.
You're not to discredit any outfielder. Typically, the corner outfielders may not always be the most athletic, if we're going to be honest. That's more of a center field and middle infield type thing, even third. But corner outfielders, that's not typically a common thing.
As that one is high and outside. Well, a lot of that has to deal with you could play the foul line.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost like a security blanket, if anything. Here's Breadwell. Hitters count 2-1 with 2 outs. Breadwell swings on that one. It's driven into center field, and making a great play on it is Maggie Oddie. And Oddie and the Buckeyes get out of this one. But the Huskers, 3 outs, but all 3 outs were made on solid contact, but nothing able to drop for the Big Red. Buckeyes set to bat here in the top of the 5th on Big Ten Plus.
Assumption.
That one sharply grounded over to Billy Andrews at short, and gloved cleanly by Felder at first, for a quick first out for Courtney Wallace. And Wallace, the starting pitcher for the Huskers yesterday, as we mentioned, complete game, only has 1 earned run, gives up 2 runs, allows 6 hits, and strikes out 1.
She walked 3 batters yesterday as well, which goes to show how patient Ohio State will be at home plate.
Off-speed pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Here's Cami Quartercracks. She doubled back in the 3rd, walked in the 1st. Again, a stellar batting average, currently sitting at .335. That one not quite in there for a strike, and the Husker faithful in a little disapproval there of the call made by Michael Hertz.
Gentleman in front of us said, there it is. Ended up being called for a ball.
Quartercracks comes into this game today, 12th in the Big Ten in plate appearances, 17th in runs, 13th in hits, and 2nd in doubles. So like Caitlin Neal, has that ability to find the gaps in the outfield. As that one is sharply grounded over to Sydney Gray, a high bouncer, and an errant throw over to Maya Felder at first. The runner is safe.
That ball went into the dugout, so she'll take second as well. And Rhonda Ravella saying, hey, that hit the first base coach. So that should be a dead ball, shouldn't it? As now Quartercracks is going to retreat back, go back to second.
Yep, just tossing some equipment over to that first base coach. Here's Heckenbrack. Hackenbrack popped out in the first, singled in the third. That one popped foul. Bobby, what a name to have if you're a softball player.
Hackenbrack.
Sam Hackenbrack.
Sam Hackenbrack. We talked about it early. Her name.
That's an awesome name.
It is an awesome name.
Especially for a softball player. Big Hack by Hackenbrack. That'd be a great call to make. As that one is wide and outside, 1-1 count.
I don't think she understands. Maybe she does. That we are just having so much fun with the name Hackenbrack. It's such a fun name to say. It rolls off the tongue so well. Hackenbrack.
Mm-hmm. They have a couple fun names to say.
They do.
So that one is inside and hits the dirt. Hackenbrack's father actually played football at Michigan State and is an assistant coach at Massillon Washington High School, which is a perennial State of Ohio football school, but most notably, her father, a former Michigan State football player. And that one is hopped into left field. Hackenbrack on with her second hit of the day, her second single, for that matter of fact. And Maggie Oddie, the senior, steps into the batter's box for the Buckeyes with runners on the corners with 1 out.
Quartercracks, I thought, might have had a chance to score, but it looks like she hesitated. Yeah, she hesitated a few steps off of second, not sure if Sydney Gray was going to be able to leap up and take that one. I would say it's a relatively safe base running choice. Well, not knocking the ability to not score there, though.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Sydney Gray minus the bunt, the error on the bunt earlier in the game. Gray is very solid at the hot corner, and I think if she gets a little bit of earlier jump, she might even get a glove on that ball, right? I'm not saying she makes the play over to first, but she could at least keep it in the infield. So I understand the hesitation part of it.
I mean, they call it the hot corner for a reason.
There's a reason I did not play third base growing up. Batter shows bunt, and runner takes.
That's a misplay by the Nebraska infield as well, especially the middle infield. Kaneda was 3 steps in front of the second base bag, while Billy Andrews was about a step to the right of it and in front of it. There was no one there ready to cover second base, knowing that Potter had already taken off for second as well.
Yeah, Potter comes in as the pinch runners. That one is sharply lined over to Kaneda at second for a quick second out, and they nearly converted that double play to get Lindsey Potter out at second. Well, that one caught me off guard, Bobby.
Right position, right time. Kaneda didn't have to roll over too far for that either. It was just right at her.
Potter, the past couple years, has mainly been used as a pinch runner. 3 for 3 on stolen bases in 2021 and 3 for 5 last year. He came in as a pinch runner against Purdue on April 23rd. Didn't have an official at bat, but did score a run. So they like the use of the pinch runner, the Buckeyes. They really do.
It's a good strategy in order to have runs cross the plate.
J.C. Ruberty, the left fielder, bounces that one over to Billy Andrews' glove cleanly over to Maya Felder in time at first. And the Huskers get out at the top of the 5th. They get out of another jam. Wallace sees that one, and that is a short fly out into shallow center field out to Adi for a quick first out, a one-pitch out for Ohio State.
But on top of that, Ohio State hasn't had to truck a long way in order to make a play.
I mean, let's be honest here, Bobby. It does a lot as Billy Andrews takes ball one. It does so much for a pitcher like Emily Ruck when your command is starting to get into a flow where you can record those quick outs because that maintains your stability inside the circle. At one point, I didn't think she'd make it past 4 innings. But those quick first outs, quick second outs, even quick third outs, as Andrews fouls that one into the grass area behind the Buckeyes dugout, that's given her length today.
Billy Andrews, her last time up, put one over the left center field wall.
Courtesy of Bobby Hessling's call.
I wonder if there's the opportunity to put one, maybe split the gap here and get on, kind of reignite that fire.
That one grounded over to third, fielded cleanly by Bump, but not in time to Rodriguez at first. And Andrews is on with a 1-out single, infield single, as that throw by Bump was not in time. Took a little too long handling the ball there.
I don't know if she bobbled it between the run and the throw, or really the exchange. I mean, that's close. But there seemed like there was a lack of urgency almost getting the ball from her glove to her hand, and there was an extra 1 or 2 shuffles that did not have to be done. You know, you typically see that shuffle where she slides over, there's the throw. But we saw 3 or 4 different shuffles.
Kaneda swings and misses there. Hackenbrack threatening to throw. Billy Andrews out at first, keeping her at bay.
By the way, I cannot see Billy Andrews stealing here. She's been dealing with a nagging hamstring injury all season. Still kind of nursing that now, and Rhonda Revelle doesn't want her running and the risk of any more damage. 2-set hamstring.
That one outside, but she is taking a hefty lead off. Wind picking up here at Bolin Stadium. It's up to about 6 miles an hour. Slightly east.
I mean, that's nicer than what it was last Sunday, where it was about 35 miles an hour.
Kaneda fouls that one back. 1-2 count.
Good catch by that fan right by the third base camera.
10 out of 10. Kaneda 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt and a fly out today. Ruck sitting at 64 pitches. Kaneda showing bunt. Kaneda grounds that one sharply over to second. Farley fields it cleanly, and the double play is converted. That is a 4-6-3 double play, and the Buckeyes get out of the 5th inning safely after Billy Andrews reached on an infield single. The Buckeyes are set to bat in the top of the 6th. You're looking at a literal aspect. You're trailing in this situation. The junior Sarah Harness, she had some good moments, but the Buckeyes in that 3rd time around the order, I feel like that was a big part of the decision by Rhonda Revelle to pull her out, because sometimes it's 3rd time's the charm for these teams batting, that they really can get a hold of a pitcher. And I think bringing in Courtney Wallace to attempt to finish this off is the smart move. And Wallace is someone, especially look at the Wisconsin series, pitched every game and threw over 190 pitches on the Friday night game where the Huskers walked it off in 10 innings.
I was going to say, that game ran very late.
Oh, yeah, it did.
2-1 to Tegan Cordelletti. Cordelletti singled in the 4th inning, which was her last time up. Two, 2-1. Back to Wallace. Flips it over to first. 1 away.
Easy work. That's cookies, as I like to say, for Courtney Wallace. Quick comebacker right inside the circle. Not a lot of force behind it.
Don't need to go far.
Nope.
Don't need to go far. At least a Mackenzie bump. She has flown out and struck out swinging so far. A little bit of controversy going back into that 4th inning. The first pitch is outside, which was a ground ball back to Sarah Harness. Also went back to Sydney Gray. A little miscommunication there, but it fouled it off herself. And the next pitch, struck out swing. 1-0. Called to strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, it was a bit of a confusing call. There's been a lot of bunts, not just today, but a lot of bunts that have come oh so close to hitting that front side of the plate. And the Huskers have caught a couple breaks on some of those plays.
1-1, runs inside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
How about this, Bobby? Here's a quick stat on Mackenzie Bump. In high school, every year, batted at least .750.
Every year?
At least every season batted .750.
She got on base 3 out of 4 times. Ground ball, Sydney Gray scoops it at third. Throw over, Felder with a good pick, 2 down. I mean, .750 is crazy.
Yes.
She just never had a dry spell when she batted.
There's a reason she is playing Big Ten softball, Bobby.
Yes. That is a no-doubter. Caitlin Farley struck out swinging her first time up. That was in the second, got replaced. Back and swinging the bat for Ohio State. Farley, sophomore from Encinitas, California.
Bobby also part of that big accolade for freshmen last year for the Buckeyes.
As a ground ball, Wallace flips it over, but continue before we go to break.
Yeah, she was one of 3 freshmen to start more than 35 games last year, and she reached safely in their final 7 games. So part of that big freshman class last year for the Buckeyes.
Well, she grounds out to the pitcher. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Ohio State leads Nebraska 3-2 on Big Ten Plus. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Gray grounded out and has flown out so far today. Takes a first pitch strike. So here are the situations. If Nebraska wins the last 2, they would be the 4th seed in the Big Ten tournament, and Ohio State would be anywhere between the 5th and 10th seed in the Big Ten tournament. Let's say Ohio State wins out, so Ohio State wins the next 2. Nebraska would lose the next 2. Nebraska would be anywhere between 5th and 8th, and Ohio State would finish 4th. That's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit to lead off the bottom of the 6th. And then if they split the last 2 games, so one of them wins today and one of them wins tomorrow, doesn't matter who, Nebraska, with that split, would finish in 4th just because they would have one more win over Ohio State, while Ohio State would be anywhere between 5th and 9th. So, I mean, it's right there. Nebraska, 1 win. They will have the first-round bye in the Big Ten tournament, would clinch the last spot, first-round bye in the Big Ten tournament, while Ohio State, really anywhere between 5th and 10th, it's such a wide-open field.
And, Bobby, I think what
Felder lays down a bunt. Charge thrown to first, 1 away.
Great bunt there by Maya Felder. You're talking at least 3 innings of work, added on a possible 7 that she could go tomorrow. Courtney Wallace can do it. There's no doubt about that.
She's got the drive in order to do it. No doubt.
She's got the skill, too.
She does. First pitch to Brooke Andrews, outside, ball 1. Runner at second, that's Sydney Gray, 1 away. Brooke singled in the first inning. It's also kind of fitting that a rematch from the Big Ten semis a year ago got implications on the Big Ten tournament the year after. The 1-0, Andrews, that's into shallow right. That will get down. Runners will be at the corners. Gray is going to hold up at third. And with 1 out, runners there at the corners for Abby Squire. It's just kind of been the story of the series.
And you look at when Sarah Harness was in today, I mean, how many times did she escape runners on second and third jams, runners on the corners?
Multiple times.
Exactly.
Multiple times. First pitch to Squire was outside for ball 1.
Nebraska's currently left 3 players on base today.
Little squeeze attempt, scooped home, is going to be safe, and we are tied at 3. How about that? The squeeze bunt. You kidding me?
Squire's on fire. I mean, look at that bunt. That is perfectly placed. It hops just in front of home plate. It has enough forespin. It trickles forward, and Sydney Gray comes flying in like Superwoman. It slides in cleanly. Tie ball game, Bobby. It's a whole new game here at Bowlin Stadium.
Just no tag is applied. I don't even think that Church was on home plate when she caught the ball. We are even at 3 for Caitlin Neal. First pitch, strike 1.
And you have to like the righty pitcher to lefty batter matchup right here, Bobby. Caitlin Neal has some power.
That's why Kennedy went outside on that first pitch.
If she leaves a breaking ball hanging, Neal is going to absolutely smother that ball.
Hefty swing, fouled it off herself. That's a foul ball. Now 0-2, and she will step out and try to walk that off. Can that be a good feeling, fouling a ball off yourself?
No.
It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah, we talked about it on our last broadcast, our Little League days.
Yes.
So long ago.
Yeah. I didn't swing the bat that often.
We were patient hitters.
Yes.
I got punked a little too much, though.
I did too.
Yeah. I think they had it out for us.
Who knows?
But I never charged the mound.
I didn't either. I was too young.
Yeah, I would have gotten.
I was too
The pitcher
young.
would have shown me who's boss.
The 0-2 to Caitlin Neal with 2 on, 1 away. That's into left field and foul.
And Neal swinging late there. Sometimes I think you look at Brooke Andrews' example. That's carefully placed. I think Neal was caught on her heels there. I think Kay gave her a good pitch, and Neal wasn't totally ready for it, but it's getting used to it. That's the whole game here. I mean, Kennedy Kay coming into the game, no one has a clear look on her, really, this series yet. It was a complete game yesterday for Smith. So right now it's about taking the knowledge at hand and using it to your advantage.
0-2, inside ball 1. I was thinking about this. I was like, done a good job attacking the zone. Kay's due to run a pitch inside or outside one of these times. Does it right there. Large crowd here at Bowlin Stadium tuned in for Senior Day. The 1-2 to Caitlin Neal. Strike 3 looking. Kay with a massive strikeout for out number 2.
I mean, she has 2 Ks in her name, Bobby. Her last name is Kay. Places that strikeout. Places that strike beautifully in the zone. Breaking ball catches that high outside corner, and
just
Caitlin Neal, there's nothing she could do about that.
She just froze up. Froze up, and Ava Bredwell, reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year, steps into the box. 17 driven in, 2 home runs. The first pitch to Bredwell. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Chase it down and away.
I mean, Kay's letting some major heat enter the zone. Bredwell, not one of the most powerful hitters on this team and not one of the most consistent hitters on this team as well. But a big moment here.
0-1 to Bredwell. Skies it. Short right field. The catch is going to be dropped. A run crosses the plate for Nebraska as Caitlin Farley dropped it in short right field. Nebraska has the lead.
Oh my goodness. That is the beauty of softball. It changes on a dime. This one skied high in the air. Backtracking is Farley. And I wonder if she completely loses it in the sun. The wind is only kicked up from 6 to 7 miles an hour. I mean, that is by no means a significant change in the wind. That's just glove placement there.
Bredwell got to second on that play as well. Courtney Walsh ground ball over to third. Throw to first in time, and that's how the 6th inning comes to a close. But, Josh, it was a wild 6th inning. We go to the 7th. Nebraska has a chance to clinch the final bye in the Big Ten tournament.
And it's all about where the ball hits her glove. It hits more on that palm side, not so much the webbing, and it had a little too much pizzazz coming down from the air. It jars loose, and Squire advances to third. Brooke Andrews scores. It's an unearned run. And all of a sudden, Courtney Wallace, who comes in the 5th inning just trying to hold this game.
First pitch grounded over to third. Ooh, foul ball was called.
I even jumped there. Part of me wanted to leap up and catch that one. But Courtney Wallace comes in.
Ball's over there. You
I
want
know.
to jump here?
It's my baseball instincts, man. I'm feeling it.
Okay.
But Wallace comes in for the hold, assumingly the hold, and all of a sudden, now she has a chance for the win.
Is taken for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Back to the top of the order of this Ohio State lineup. Mariah Rodriguez trying to come through and tie this game up. First team all Big Ten in 21. Ground ball. That's over to third. Gray, 1 away.
That one was a little high. But it gets to Felder in time.
It was a little high, but got the job done.
It does. And Gray deals with another routine one-hopper. Again, such a staple for the Huskers at that third base spot. It gives them, I think, a lot of comfort. She can handle almost any ground ball that's really hit that way, unless it's completely scorched.
Really is, yes. First pitch to Wilkinson, taken for a ball. This is the part of the Ohio State lineup where it's most dangerous. Such good talent. Wilkinson, we let in thinking she was going to be the main focal point for Ohio State today. However, 0 for 3.
Somehow still at a .386 batting average.
Catches the outside corner for strike 1. A loss for Ohio State. They will not clinch a bye in the Big Ten tournament. 1-1. That is into left field on a line. Squire jumps and takes it away. 2 down.
Brooke Andrews and Abby Squire embrace with a humongous hug after a humongous snag out of the air by Abby Squire. She had some bunnies there. I mean, that one scorched into left field, goes up, and has to battle the sun.
It was a late jump, too, from Squire. Wasn't really sure. Lucky that ball wasn't another inch or 2 higher. That could have been trouble. But now Cammie Quartercracks, who's walked double and reached base on an error, steps to home plate, takes a first pitch strike on the outer half of the plate.
Now it's important for Quartercracks right here. You're on the road. You could be the final out of this ball game. Do not try and swing for the fences. It's those moments where you strike out and you don't get the moment you want. Let it come to you. Just trust your instincts, trust your approach.
7 home runs. 0-1 is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Courtney Wallace trying to slam the door on senior day.
And Nebraska edged Ohio State 2-1 in the Big Ten tournament semis last year. One of them was a walk-off win, so a little bit of bad blood between these two teams.
1-1. Ground ball over the head of Wallace. Kaneda throw over to first, not in time. And Quartercracks has reached safely every at-bat today.
I mean, she's just been so fast around the bases as well. Granted, you know, that 2-hopper was pretty high. And the Huskers did everything right defensively there. But Quartercracks, not only has she done a good job of making solid contact and just reaching base in general, but her speed around the bases. That's added a different element to her game today.
Now with a runner at first, just a blanket of silence fell on this crowd. Got a little eerie quiet quickly.
Well, Hackenbrack's 2 for her last 2 for 3 on the day.
Hackenbrack flew out to lead things off, had the RBI single back in the third. singled back in the 5th, and now has a runner at first. First pitch, she went around, strike 1.
And Wallace loves to work on the outside edge of the play, whether that really comes down to fastballs, breaking balls, or off-speed pitches. That's her bread and butter.
Now, a meeting amongst Gray and Brooke Andrews. I think time was called.
Billy Andrews taking the glove off momentarily, but walks over to Sydney Gray. I think they are just confirming their defensive alignment, just to be sure. 2 outs. The game is never over until that final out is recorded. So just, I think, making sure they're on the same page there.
No balls, 1 strike to Hackenbrack. Inside, ball 1.
It was a nice pitch.
It was a good pitch. It was a really nice pitch. Just a little too inside.
Not bad framing by Breadwell either.
As a catcher from her freshman year to now, you can really tell she has improved greatly framing pitches. 1-1 to Hackenbrack. Bottom of the zone, ball 2. Nebraska crowd groans at that call.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the Husker faithful are a little bit of a disagreement with Michael Hertz there, but hitters count here 2-1 to Hackenbrack. But this is the toughest part of the order for the Buckeyes. They all hit over 300.
2-1, strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The last Big Ten tournament bye on the line in Lincoln. The 2-2 to Hackenbrack. Into left field, down the line. If it's fair, it's gone, but it's foul.
Hackenbrack was ready.
Talk about adding drama to what has already been an exciting softball contest today.
She jumped on that one in a heartbeat. That's at least off the wall if it stays fair. Just with.
So here we go again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wallace to Hackenbrack. Ball 3. And everyone here thought that was strike 3. Let's make it interesting, Josh.
Wallace goes that fastball approach on the outside edge, and
I gotta agree. I think that was a ball.
That one was just ever so slightly outside the zone, and Wallace has a chance with full count to get it done.
3-2 home. Ground ball through the legs of Wallace. Hackenbrack is going to beat it out, and now runners are at first and second, and the inning continues.
Bobby, I'll say it once. I said it once, and I'll say it again. It is not over until the final out is recorded. The Buckeyes continuously fighting, and Wallace just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The ball goes off of her foot.
First pitch to Adi from Wallace. Ball 1 outside. Nebraska crowd has not been too pleased with some of the calls that have crossed home plate in the last number of minutes.
Yeah, Breadwell did a good job of framing it, but I think it was still just barely outside the edge of the strike zone on that outer right corner.
1-0. Skies it. Left field. Squire calls everyone off, makes the catch. Nebraska wins, and they've clinched the final bye in the Big Ten tournament.